Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hope you had a good afternoon session. And kind of want to start off by saying I told you so. Unfortunately, it's done the move without me. We talked yesterday and Monday that I expect new all-time highs to get made because this was a weak high made in a London session. So what have we had this morning? We've gapped up and rallied through London and Asia, mainly through London, expanded all the way up, and we're opening right by this top Bollinger Band. Surprise, surprise. So full mean reversion of the 20-day. So if you look at this 3-day week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, off 20-day, 5-day, expanded right into the top Bollinger Band. That does not mean it can't go further. This is now going to start to point upwards. 5-day with support, and we have the possibility of a trend. Okay, so higher time frame daily narrative is in a very, very strong up cycle right now. We are in a buy cycle. Moving down through the charts, you can see here on the hourly chart, we are heavily extended. Okay, this was the consolidation we put in yesterday before finally breaking out in the afternoon. We were talking about this move all day yesterday, weren't we? Can the market trap enough shorts in? Once it has enough shorts trapped, it will use their stops. We have this double top here. It will use their stops to go and attack the all-time high, which was here. Once we got through that, we blew out all stops from the market, and we just continued to rally higher. So the only thing we can think about now as resistance or anything like that is standard deviations, the top Bollinger Band, and Fibonacci's. There is no supply overhead, no resistance overhead. So you cannot be in the frame of mind of picking tops. The market is resilient. It will go further than it wants, well, than you expected. But what you must remember is that the market is in a breakout mode, and at some point it will want to pull back. So we need to think about where it wants to pull back to. These levels here, this red line here is the old all-time high on the 5-minute. Okay, I'm going to make that blue. This is a level that I'm interested in if we come and back test this level and to see if and how we react there. Furthermore, I'm thinking about the cash gap, right? We have a significant gap up, market starting to roll over before the open here. This cash gap would take us right back to settlement, right down here, 280. All right, this white line, gray box, previous day close. That'd be the cash gap. This would be the support underneath. I'm also thinking about the London Asia level. All right, top of London would trade into 400. Bottom of Asia would trade into sort of 317, 320. So I would love to see the market dip in the morning, and then I'll have to see how I feel about the price action as it comes down. Remember, this is very, very thin. All of this action from sort of 280 up here, all of this is thin, all right? It was all created in London and Asia. So it is possible if the market wants to do a gap fill. I'm not trying to make you think about a short here, but I'm just making you aware. A gap fill would be all the way down here. Remember, this is a significant gap up on thin volume. If we're going to do a partial gap fill, we can think about various things. We can think about VWAP, lower time frame. We can think about coming into support here. We can think about coming down here. And how do we react? We can also think that the market might just want to continue to extend. So the easiest way to get long today will be off bear traps, right? Very much like we had the last 2 days. The sentiment of the week has been bear traps. So I'm very concerned about how extended we are up here. I do not want to be buying high. So I will need a nice bear trap for me to get involved in to take the move higher, because really what we've done overnight is exactly the trade that I wanted to take today. We talked about it yesterday on stream. All right, so we've now completed the big move. So I'm watching the gap up across all the indexes, QQQ, SPY, everything at all-time highs with a significant gap up. Mag 7, all green on the day. Bonds green on the day currently, and we have news as well. All right, we have news at 9:45, 10 o'clock, and then we have Jerome Powell talking later in the day. I do not want to be around at the desk for when Jerome Powell is going to talk, especially if we've pumped near all-time highs and we're hanging around and it gets thin. That is definitely not a time I'm interested in trading. All right, so I will see what we get today. No huge game plan. I'm interested in dips if they are significant dips and we have bullish patterns. Otherwise, I'm thinking about bear traps for continuation higher. If we show a push and a fail, okay, then I'll think about a short rotation back down. right? But I need to see the market fail. I'm not going to be in a position where I'm guessing a top and guessing a top and guessing a top. You will get run over. It's the easiest way to die. And be guessing tops in bullish trends, right? The market significantly gapping up. We have a point of control created overnight into 418, 420-ish. That's a level I'm looking at as well inside sort of the London Asia zone. So that's kind of it. All right, we've got 4 minutes to open. Do all your checks on your systems, make sure everything's online, that your data feeds are looking good, etc., etc. I've got this on a 2 minute for now, just because the gap is significant, so I want to be able to see left. And let's see who's in chat this morning. Probably a lot of you here, hopefully. Good morning, Xista, Eva, Asa, Jeff, Chris, Ryan, Coop, Marek, Ramus, Mindful Matters, Thumper. Good morning, everybody. All right. So sentiment, higher time frame is bullish, but we are extended. All right, think about that H1, H4, what we might do. Right now, the H1 is back testing the old H1 order block into point of control. All right, this fail off the top so far, coming into back test this order block that we put in at 7 a.m. So see if bids come in here, and we'll go from there. But please, 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 if there's one thing I can say today, do not be picking tops, all right? That doesn't mean there won't be a short setup. There might well be a short setup, but you cannot pick tops in a market which is in a squeeze through all-time highs. Markets are often very, very resilient, all right? They go much further than people expect. Hence why anyone shorting yesterday and the day before has now probably been blown out. Morning, Camille, Minix, Abe, Steve, Glenn. Good morning, everybody. So in a sell here, coming into open, looking at the book, not any huge orders that I'm particularly interested in right now. All right, my feeling right now is if you were swing long any time last week or the beginning of this week, like we talked about, we were in a bullish cycle, you're probably just holding on to runners. All right, I don't think anyone is buying this right now in this open session. So it's probably more likely shorts getting squeezed out. And the question is, how far through this daily Bollinger Band can the market go? Or are we just going to reject the daily Bollinger Band and trade back inside towards previous all-time highs? That would not surprise me in the slightest if it wants to do a move like that. I'm gonna just relax at the open. Remember, volatility will pick up your ATR today. I would not be surprised if your minute ATR is very, very high. So just be careful with that. Watch your sizing. All right. If we start to expand 30, 40, 50 points per 1 minute bars, you cannot be trading big size, right? You will get run over. $410. Yeah, pretty much around that on the 5 minute, where we put in that consolidation into around just above that London high, Glenn. But looking at the hourly, all the way down at 340, maybe even below. So tricky to time this today. You're gonna have to be very, very careful. So here's the opening on the market. So dip right down into lower time frame algo, VWAP hanging underneath, bids coming in so far. Remember, this sell off the top is just a pullback, all right? It's a pullback on the higher time frame, very much like yesterday that we talked about. We have a big, big gap fill. Do not forget that. The gap fill is all the way down here, this gray box, all right? It's a long way away if it actually wants to do the gap fill. I'm going to be very, very cautionary at the open here, not looking to trade this open like I was yesterday. For me, the best location has been and gone. The best location were buy locations Monday, Tuesday, all right? It might be that I need to wait. It's possible that I don't get a trade today and that really the trade comes tomorrow. Okay, if we're going to do a failed breakout on a Wednesday and we're looking for a weekly model, it's possible that Thursday and Friday offer the better trade, but let's see. Remember, we're not looking at a first red day or anything like that here. We are looking at a gap up above all-time highs. So we just have to see if there's profit taking this morning or not. SPY under its VWAP right now. ES is not. QQQ also under its VWAP. So the cash VWAP, we're currently trading under. Watch your ATR here, guys. All right, you're now up to 23 points already. If it starts to expand, that might increase. So what do I mean by that? I'm basically saying that it's now up to 25 points per 1 minute candle. So if you're someone that likes to risk 5 or 10 points, you will not be able to do that right now. Into 400. You have a Fed speaking right now, not on the news, but I can see it hitting my wire. So you have Fed talk right now. ES holding its key levels here and driving higher. So ES going to back test the open. So you have some divergence in the market here. ES holding its lower time frame algo, NQ not holding it. Mag 7 all green other than Meta and Tesla, which are doing that green to red dance right now. Gap up on the Mag 7 is not significant, I would say, interestingly. So we've drifted higher from other sectors. But Apple hit a new all-time high yesterday. Would expect some form of profit taking. Just back down to a reasonable level to buy. Remember, smart money is not buying high. If we fade all day, which would surprise me, but if we fade all day, it would be like the last time we hit all-time highs. We just opened them in the morning and just absolutely dumped. But I don't think that is the type of cycle we're in right now. I think buyers will be looking for good pullback. So looking at levels on the book, there's a buyer now coming in at 21,380 and 21,300. Nothing huge, sort of 50, 60 lots. So SPY pretty much on its VWAP here. ES holding its lower time frame algo. QQQ coming up to test its high of day on the New York session. Does it find sellers here, or are we about to put a screaming squeeze in? Would really like to see a far more significant pullback than we've had. So extending the range here on the New York session. ES looking like it wants to test high of day. Filling an imbalance on the 5 minute on ES. So key level here, if you're looking at some form of inversion early on in the day on the ES. I'm not looking for that personally. Just want the market to shake out here. I'm watching the H1 more than anything to see if we can trade back down towards value area low, 358, 360, somewhere around there. 21,130 for pivot low. 21,130. 130 is a long, long way away, Glenn. That would be a back test of the 5-day. I want to see if we get a reaction here, if the market wants to trade into VWAP or trade lower. Yeah, I'm using 15 and 5. And we've just tapped into the London high here. All right, London high. This is where London breakout buyers came in. VWAP loitering just underneath. 320. Nice reaction there off London so far. I don't really know what you're looking at, Glenn, to give you swing low for 320. Hang on. Depends on the time frame. What I'm looking at is that hourly. There's an imbalance on the hourly. I want to see if it can trade into around 370. Come and test the low of value area low where we found buyers overnight in and around midnight. That would be ideal. Range pretty tight so far. All right, only 38 points since the open. So those of you playing your opening range breakouts, you can think about the 5-minute bar. Okay, looking like it wants to continue lower here. It's coming to retest again the London high, and also green line is VWAP. We start to fail underneath that, we can think about Globex lows, we can think about gap fills potentially if it really wants to get heavy. You've got to be looking left today. Like I said, it was a thin move up, very much like the original move to all-time highs last month or whenever it was. When was that move? Yeah, back in November, early November. Done overnight. No big displacement or anything like that yet. Really what you've got probably is some profit taking, some lower time frame traders trying to enter the market short, and no higher time frame traders probably bidding up the market yet. They will be waiting for deeper prices if it offers it, but they will be holding on to swing positions. Remember, if you were bidding Monday on that breakout, you are in long from in front of 21,000. All right, so you're up 400 points already. Is a continuation. So bear flag breaking down like we talked about. Here is VWAP into the London levels then. So how low can it go? This is the question now. How far back down is this going to backtest? Remember, we have a gap fill right down here. If it really wants to get heavy, it can go for that gap fill. Because everything so far is overnight volume. The next value area high test would be right down at 21,255, right, looking at the H1. So if it really gets heavy underneath sort of 21,300, it has room. Just being patient here in this market. I do not want to get myself trapped and look to buy when we're starting a pullback and then get dunked on, right? So just being patient here. So far the market this morning is in a sell, but remember the higher time frame is in a buy. All right, so obviously I like to play alignment when available. Yes, not at its VWAP yet, still holding the lower time frame algo for now. ETFs are both stuck at VWAP, right? They've both come under VWAP and they're stuck there. So cash buyers on the day, probably currently average price underwater. To pass the eval Apex Trader link to TradingView, do you have to be logged into TradingView as a demo or live account? Trades will be made directly on TradingView. if you're using TradeOvate, you need to go to the bottom of TradingView and go to, I'm trying to think what it's called now, brokers, and put in your TradeOvate details, and then you will just trade that. So you can trade directly on TradingView using TradeOvate, but you'll need to log into the TradeOvate as a broker using the details TradeOvate provide you. Alternatively, you can trade on Ninja using TradeOvate, or you can trade on TradeOvate website itself. So market not really making any big moves this morning. Maybe waiting for that news print, which is coming in 2.5 minutes. But news 9:45, then 10 o'clock. Then we're a little bit more clear for the day until we get to Jerome Powell. So I haven't taken a trade yet, I'm just waiting. Market just doing that dance as we come into the newsprint. All right, I'm going to wait for this newsprint and then we'll see what's what. Exactly. Orange news in 2 minutes, and then top of the hour we have the big news. We want to see what we do on a new 4-hour candle, which will be at 10 o'clock. Market holding VWAP for now. ES not even traded down to it. I think it's demo, Max. I think it's demo for the eval. Everything is demo or sim when you're in prop. So same when you're entering your details in a Ninja Trader, you'd want the sim data. No worries. So backtesting, flow zones here. Potential if they start to hold this for the squeeze. Also potential of a failure and bear flag for now. This is an M2 you're looking at this morning. The only reason is I wanted to see further left. I will move it as we get further into the day. Back to an M1 for you. Nice, Max. So not much of a shakeout in this news so far anyway. Thin on the book. Orders starting to come back in on the book now. ES attempting to make a new low of day here, but still holding its lower time frame algo. So newsprint, PMI came in. I think that was slightly hot. To check that in Discord. Oh, this is what happens when London Asia get all the fun. You know, when they get the move we were looking for yesterday and Monday. We've called the market really well this week, but they got a nice gap up. Going to be picky today, very, very picky. Still in a lower time frame downtrend for now. Higher time frame is still in a buy cycle. Okay, higher time frame still in a buy cycle. As you can see with the flow zones, lower time frame, 2 minute, 1 minute, they are in a sell for now. I would love to see the market trade lower on the 10 o'clock candle into around 21,350. If it wants to come even lower than that, fantastic. 21,250. And then I have to see how the market reacts. That would be back to support, back to that area of consolidation that we broke out from yesterday afternoon. Maybe even back to just closing price would be nice. But it looks like it doesn't really want to do that. Most of the market going green now. Tesla the only lagger. Very, very close to going green on the day. SPY holding its pre-market lows. QQQ doing the same, hasn't really tested them. On the ETF, that is. No, I just use a watch list here on TradingView. But you could use Finviz. I haven't used Finviz since I've been searching for small cap movers back in the day with a scanner. Very tight range this morning, under 50 points so far. The first 20 minutes of trading. Starting to look like it's doing that curl that we talked about, okay? This pivot here will be key to see what it does next. I don't like that we're going to do that move into 10 o'clock. Basically, the golden zone from here to here is here, and there's a 5 minute imbalance here. So I'm just interested how we react up there. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, TR. And then I have one for Mag 7 as well, because I always want my eye on those, because those are the heaviest weighted in the market, especially in the NQ, 40% of the NQ. So they matter. Just a patient day. Not every day is the same. By this time yesterday, I think I'd taken 2 or 3 trades. Today, no trades yet. But dips are holding so far. And maybe it wants to expand here. What I'd like to see is some more liquidity come onto the book to act like a magnet. We haven't got much at the moment. Like I said, buyers not really willing to participate too much here. They would want a deeper pullback. All right. I think most people are either in a swing long position and holding on to runners, or they're looking for a deeper pullback in the market to initiate new positions or adds. And that always makes it tricky. All right, if we had opened where we closed yesterday we would have room for this move up, 250-point move up that we've done overnight. We would have had room for it today because this was the expected move to the top of the Bollinger. Anyone that's joining late, check out the daily. We've done the drive through all-time highs to the top of the daily Bollinger, everything we talked about. Morning, Foster Scott. This will initiate a buy soon on the 1 minute. Starting to curl, all right, right here. This was the liquidity we were talking about. There's the tapering. If this can go, we will attack the overnight high, or the all-time high currently. If it keeps getting stuck up here, remember this is 60% of this pullback. We do have an imbalance there on a 5 minute. So I'm just being patient for now, and also no news is just around the corner. So definitely a slower morning. This is what happens sometimes. If you took the long, good for you. Right, pretty basic long there on a breakdown. We talked about don't be picking tops today. It's the easiest way to lose in a market drifting through all-time highs is to try and pick tops. The whole reason we are up this high is not because of news catalyst. It is because shorts got stuck from 21,000 and they kept adding all week long. All right, so every single time we faded yesterday, they were bear traps. We talked about it on stream yesterday and on stream Monday. The amount of time the market put in a bear trap to catch shorts, make them enter the market, to then turn around and use their stops as liquidity to drift higher. That has been the name of the game this week and probably last week while I was away. Looking at the daily chart, it looks exactly the same. Morning, Tyson. So 4 minutes till news. Still no trade for me yet. I'm letting this liquidity in the New York session just build out. My higher time frame bias is continuation upside. The problem is we have not got that much room left on an expected move on the daily because we are at the top of the Bollinger. It's not to say we don't do a move like this and extend past it, but those are very, very rare. Okay, the amount of times we get through Bollingers is rare. We might extend through it and then close back on it. Very, very possible. But I would have loved, my ideal position would have been we are opening here and then we could have taken this expansion up through this stop level. That would have been very nice, but London, Asia had the same game plan. All right, so it is what it is. Low-hanging fruit trade basically has gone that they took overnight. They took my low-hanging fruit trade I was looking for up to expansion through all-time highs has gone. I needed to wake up very, very early and trade, I don't know, from sort of midnight my time, probably over on the West Coast. Morning, John. Morning, everyone. Did any of you get the long overnight? Hopefully some of you got the long. I saw some Twitter traders calling for a gap down, which I found hilarious considering that the market was in a gentle squeeze the last 2 days. Why would it gap down? Opening this session is beyond me. So there's the clear out of current New York session high. Some more liquidity is coming onto the book here. So I wonder if this is people looking to enter and exit trades before this 10 o'clock candle. Again, nothing with notable size for me standing out. Our biggest order I can see on the book right now is down at 300. And even that's only 67 contracts. So it's not like the last few days where we've had 200 lots on the book looking to get filled. Yeah, exactly. Exister, red news in 4 minutes now, in 4 minutes. So do these guys on the book look to get filled before that news and then probably pull it? I'd imagine this book gets very, very, very thin. And just remember, if you don't get a setup today, if there's nothing on the chart screaming to take a trade, then you don't take a trade. You don't sit here and look to force something to make money. That's how you lose. Right, notice the difference in how I've traded today compared to yesterday. Yesterday, I was actively buying the market because I had a very clear draw on liquidity for us to drift higher. Today, I'm not actively buying the market because we've done that huge move higher. So now I need to wait. This is where probably experience and patience comes in. All right, if it doesn't give you what you're looking for, then you don't trade. All right, you learn this skill so that you don't have to be a slave to the desk every single day. If no trade sets up, we don't trade. We come back tomorrow. Those who've done the course, we are thinking about weekly models, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So how we close today versus our weekly range will be important, especially on an NFP week. All right, especially on an NFP week. I reckon that NFP number will be pretty good because I think they overcooked it last time versus the hurricanes going on the East Coast. So we had a outlier NFP number, and I reckon they will bake it back into a good market this week. But how we react to that will be important. Dixie still trading upside, all due to this tariff news. So ever since Trump got in due to the tariff news, saving the Dixie for now. Okay, but if we get continuation of headlines like yesterday, like China saying they won't import any good materials into the US, it will stifle chip making. We'll have to see how that affects everything. Nice, Abe. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Refine your plays on sim until your setup turns up. All right, so going risk off into this number then. The book's pretty much completely cleared out, other than the liquidity providing algo, which is currently flashing between 410 and 425. That's just market makers providing liquidity. But other than that, everything else is thinned right out. All right, so 1 minute till you get this print. Maybe this is what we need to move the market. Remember, lower time frame currently feels like it's in a sell. Higher time frame is in a buy. We will need to wait for some form of alignment, or at least I will be waiting for some form of alignment to get involved. I don't care if that's going to be a fade back down to support, or if I'm going to grab a long with a bullish pattern off a good level. Doesn't bother me which one it is, but I will wait for that clear setup. So far, we are trading sideways in a range. And that range is 53 points, all right, since the open. So in half an hour, we printed 53 points. That is nothing. So no reason to force yourself in. So 5 seconds coming up. See this print. Book's completely cleared. Even the liquidity providers have gone. So very, very thin. To see what this print is. Hasn't hit my wire yet. I don't know if it's out, but it's definitely not out on here we come. Came in cooler. ISM services orders came in at 53.7 versus forecast 56.6. Employment actually 51.5 versus 53, so cooler numbers all around. In theory, bearish for the market, but it's not a huge miss. Back to VWAP then, across the board, all indexes back to VWAP. Both the ETFs are trading underneath VWAP. So again, cash buyers are underwater for now, just talking about right this second. That can change very, very quickly. There is nothing so far in this morning session enticing me to trade. I'm going to be very, very honest. That can change. Hopefully it does change. But other than that news candle, there's not much impetus for this market to do anything right now. Yes, soaking off VWAP. ETFs back to their VWAP levels. All right, so we're back to levels where the cash buyers and sellers are acting right here. And that's also going to be point of control. Point of control has now moved higher on the session. You can see it right here. Point of control now moved up. So we're trading underneath POC, underneath these old hourly blocks. I am interested in, can the market come back down into this kind of level here? And then beyond that, how do we react if we're going to fail that level? Where's our open print? This candle here is settlement. So do we find bids here? Do we trade through that and trade it back down to settlement? We have another imbalance here. These are the things I'm considering. If we're going to trade through POC, we can come back and retest this. New 4-hour candle here as well now. So let's have a look at that. It should be thin. Yeah, same kind of level. Value area low, gap underneath, and a huge gap down here. I know this is probably boring right now, guys, but we have to trade what's in front of us. If you were guessing long, short, long, short, long, short today, you either got away with some wins or you got absolutely hammered and cut to pieces. Very much like yesterday, those who tried to guess the market yesterday and didn't stick to the buy thesis waiting for good prices and bullish action, they would have got cut up. Right, you would have seen PW yesterday. I appreciate his honesty. He lost 150 grand in the market yesterday. That is nothing to him really, because he's on an absolute tear right now, but that is by far his biggest loss, and it's just because he got cut up in the morning session. At least he's honest and comes out and says what happened and shows it. Patrick Wyland. See how Patrick Wyland. So he's been on a tear. I think he's up. He was up about 600,000 in the last 40 trading days. He gave about 150 of it back yesterday, just getting cut up in the market in the morning session. He was done within 2 hours, but having patience in executing is important. Understanding that the market needs to build liquidity to do the moves, right? Right now, all we're doing is building liquidity in New York. Right, look at this. This is just building liquidity. And at some point, we're either breakout and go, or failed breakout, trade back down, failed breakout, trade back in. We're building liquidity. It's because we lack liquidity because we're at all-time highs. Is that right? I don't follow Tom. Obviously, I know who he is and I've read his stuff, but I don't follow his daily trading or anything like that. Yeah, it's a different market. You know, we've drifted to all-time highs. We're in December. We're in potential Santa Claus rally. Most of the Mag 7 are at all-time highs. Apple made new all-time high yesterday. We have two wars going on. We have, you know, election finished, but new president not in. You know, there's lots of sort of uncertainty, but we are bullish on higher time frames. So potential W here, but big divergence in the market again. ES testing its low of day in New York, NQ testing its high of day, right? Massive divergence in the market. So tech strong again, rest of the market probably a little bit weaker. So I'd imagine if you look at bank and healthcare sectors, they're probably drifting lower currently. But ES back to view up, finding a bid there for now, but it is near its low of day. Complete opposite to NQ, which looks like it wants to complete this W. Still in a range for now. Two minutes, guys. I'll be right back. 2 minutes. Okay. So still divergence in the market. Q's looking to extend higher. ES trading near its low of day on VWAP right now. Right? Massive divergence in the market. Same as we've had all week. We've had divergence all week where Qs have had to be the strong market pulling everything else up. So tech doing all the work. And like we said yesterday, really we want alignment where we have most sectors green so that the ETFs can move together and they can help each other out, pull each other up. Means all the sectors are working in tandem rather than having tech trying to do all the heavy work pretty much by itself, which is what we've had most of the week. And then when we get the alignment, when the ES has had buyers come into it, we've had good expansion. So right now I'm thinking about possible SMT and things like that. All right, so ES made a new low of day on the last 5-minute bar and is trading back upside, or trying to trade back upside. NQ has taken out the New York high. One thing we also might have, which we need to consider, is because Jerome Powell is talking later in the day, we might just go sideways, all right? We might just go sideways all day long until he talks, all right? People will be very, very interested in, did that number yesterday, and if we have a good print on Friday, does that mean we're going to get a 1/4 basis point cut? Because at the moment, that's kind of off the table, or many are saying it's off the table. I think that might come back on the table. And they will also be looking to see if he's going to make comments on how the tariffs are going to affect the economy. Sometimes we have V-shaped reversals, sometimes we build liquidity. Any reason other than the market makers decide to? Yeah, there is. It depends, basically, if we've left an area violently and there's lots of demand left at that area waiting to be picked up, all right, when we come back into it, they will all get filled and we'll just rocket away from it. If we drip down slowly into those areas, then that liquidity needs to get filled slowly, building like a W or a V shape to then accelerate away. So that's basically why. It depends how quickly we left there and how many orders are waiting there to get filled. So continuation higher here. So maybe new all-time high coming. Oh, don't want to do that. All-time high definitely S&T after a clear out and fading back inside. Finally, the market feels like it's waking up. So ES not through all-time high yet. Not even through its New York high. So potential SMT, that's the only thing I'm concerned about right now with relative weakness in the ES. So a big stuff there on that move on the ES. We'll say a big stuff, 4 points or something. Do they scoop this back up at VWAP, or is this the start of a stop run to trade lower? Those are the questions right now. Lower time frame momentum's trying to go bullish. ES is not really joining the party right now. Big Pun, it's not about what we think, it's about his comments on it. People will be waiting to hear his comments on it. Does that affect how he cuts, like does QE or does QT? All right, because so far he's kind of failed to comment on it. But yes, you're probably right there. But market always wants to hear opinions because we're forward looking. So if he sort of gives a good tell, if he's particularly bearish on the market, if he's sort of talking about QT, like we might need to bring QT back, etc., etc. So ES coming back down again, trying to test its VWAP here. We have definite SMT so far, but structure on the NQ is upside for now. There is a seller on the book now at 21,500. So it's the first time I've seen an order up there. He just came on the book. Still just in a 76-point range on the day. 20 minutes left until we get the initial balance. ES trading back to VWAP right now. SPY is underneath its ETF VWAP, NQ and QQQ above all VWAPs right now. Very, very tricky. Definitely not an easy market this morning. All the indexes still up. YM up, RTY up, everything still up. Nothing's done a gap fill yet. ES looking heavy here to me. ES coming back down again. See how this 5-minute bar closes. Coming back down to low of day on the ES. Yeah, exactly, Coop. Yeah, major divergence. Tech doing all the heavy lifting. Tell you what will affect tech is if China actually stops importing the materials you needed for these chips that they're threatening to do, if their big tariffs are put on them, that will really start to affect tech. Because if production cycles start to slow, if they don't have the materials, then Nvidia will get hurt, AMD will get hurt, and then you'll get Apple and all the chip companies getting hurt, and that will also start affecting things like Tesla. Big flush here. Big flush here on ES. I'm tempted to try and look for a short here, but nothing really setting up on the Qs. So soaking off that. Back to flow zones here. Q's coming back down towards, is that previous day high there? Previous day high. I mean, ES coming back down towards. So here's the move now on the Qs. So I'm interested in getting short here if it's going to give me an opportunity to get in, but I have to be very careful that we're not going to go low, higher, low, higher, low here. It's very tricky right now. As we come back into VWAP as well. Obviously, the easier play is always to play the weaker one to short side, which is ES this morning. The Qs have had relative strength. Shorting relative strength much harder. Right back to point of control. That's where we are currently. Sitting at point of control. This is where all the volume is. So big soak there, ES, after that dump down. Can it drive back towards VWAP? Are we going to get a failure into this imbalance here on the NQ and then a dive lower? That's the question right now for me. Or do we just invert it and start ripping back higher? We are still in a range, right? We're in the middle of the range from today. We've got 10, 12 more minutes left until we set that IB. Battle here because there's a chance for a lower high and there's also a higher low currently in place. Yes, big soak here. Trading back towards its VWAP where it just broke down from. Right through that imbalance we just created. Very, very messy market conditions so far. Feel like we're just going to chop until pow. That's what it feels like to me. No real indication of clear moves in this market. Super messy, super duper messy. So major divergence continues. All right, ES right at VWAP, NQ trying to trade towards its New York high and all-time high. All right, huge divergence in the markets again this morning. Tech doing all the heavy lifting. So it looks like high, low, high, low, high, low so far. Does it do a sweep now, run the stops again, rinse, repeat over and over and over again? At what point do these buys get exhausted without a big pullback? That's sort of the bigger question I've got in my mind right now. If at all, maybe they don't. I'm watching ES here very, very closely. Do we build more liquidity here now on the Qs? Is it going to look to hold this? Or does it need to reprice down? If we get a break under here, this will be problematic for all the late bulls in this session on New York. As we just build more and more and more liquidity right now. That's all we're doing. So far holding, look at that beautiful hold. For me, it's hard to join this without any notable pullback on the session, trading at the session range high at all-time highs, with ES just lagging at VWAP. Yeah, exactly. Initial balance coming, 8 minutes, 7.5 minutes. All Mag 7 green other than Tesla. It's been the way all day pretty much. Slow drift higher, it feels like, for now. ERF, yes, I do, across multiple firms. So Top Step, Apex, and Tradeify. Tradeify is my favorite right now. And then I trade my own account, but I don't trade it. I just invest on my own account. So I swing in ETFs, basically. Yeah, struggling to move higher here. This is the level right here. All right, so if bulls are going to stay in control, they need to hold this. This would be problematic. A fail under here would open the gate for lower prices. Very, very ugly across the board, watching across the board. Price action on NQ doesn't look too ugly, but when you're comparing it to what's going on elsewhere, not much on the book either. Still not many big orders on the book for it to chase today. I'm not going to stick around too much longer if it's going to just do this. I'll wait for the initial balance. ES looking a bit better now. ES trying to go. Very, very tight. We're trying to expand that value area high. Market wants to drift higher, but again, it just can't if it's going to be reliant on 7 stocks to do it. It needs some of these other 100 or 500 stocks to start joining in. Do I trade simultaneously multi-broker functionality? Yeah, everything on NinjaTrader, other than Top Step, which I use Top Step X for. It's building liquidity here, all right? Building liquidity versus this. This is what we have so far. Can it hold this? Does it need to reprice into this? If this fails, we open the gate. If this holds, we open the gate upside. It's very, very tight here, and you have major, major divergence in the market. ES is really struggling to have a notable push on a 5-minute bar above VWAP. The SPY is stuck underneath its cash VWAP. Something will happen soon, either a squeeze or a dump. We won't stick around like this forever, all right, while we build liquidity. To say I'm surprised we haven't come a little bit deeper on the session to pick up some genuine buyers, but there we go. Means I probably get nothing to do, which is all right. So it's looking to squeeze and break out here on the Qs. Every push into 60 so far and around there has failed. There's lots of stops at the high of day at 64s. Through that 500 is doable. Yes, having another go here. Oh, what a boring session. 76-point range. That's all we've got. Yeah, good exister. At least you got something. I've got nothing. Absolutely nothing so far today. That's all right. Still young, we're only an hour in. So IB about to be set. IB rules will now apply. Look at the difference in the market. Look at the initial balance on the ES. We're trading right in the middle of it. Nice, Bo. All right, so stuck at IB for now. Like again, we said, this is the imbalance or a BPR, whatever you want to call it, right here. This is going to be the key area. If it comes back down into it, how it reacts there. So starting to trade away from IB for now. Basically do a channel, if I can find it. This is kind of what you're looking at. Yes, back to VWAP again. So dip's holding so far on those flow zones. Structure is bullish. Hourly's bullish, daily's bullish, 4 hours bullish. For me, I wanted to buy a bit lower into sort of 360, 370, so not involved right now. Here goes ES having a go now. maybe up to 500 then. Still not a huge amount of size on the book. It's kind of nuts not to see much on the book. So can we get an IB day? Do we get a failed rotation? Do we get trend day up? Feels like trend day up to me for now. But I think this is going to be a day where I'm not trading, unfortunately. Had a good day yesterday though, so that's okay. Oh, sorry about that. So ES trying to go for that IB high now. Wow, finally doing it. Starting to catch up. Market starting to catch up now. Here's the expansion through. Beautiful. There you go. Now starting to move. Took a while, didn't it? It took a while to get going today. For some reason, I've got duplicate accounts on my trade copier of. Let's have a look. No, not on trade copier. What's this on then? That's weird. Of Traderify. Very odd. Okay, so can we drift higher to 500? There are some sellers now starting to come on the book above 500 towards 512. Not much above that for now. Okay, good work, Tyson. That's all right. You put that limit in for a reason, so just have that to protect you. Reset mentally, and then focus on the next one. Bo, I think it's 145, not 11:45, but correct me in chat if I'm wrong. I think it's 145 he's talking. So I'm going to get rid of this now. There we go. Let me check. I posted it in my chat earlier. Let me have a look. $145. Yeah, $145 for Jerome Powell. So no 5-minute close yet on ES above that IB. Still holding. ES still not through its IB. It's so messy. I'm like seriously thinking about walking away for the day. That's where my head's currently at. Gonna have to close my Ninja. I'm trying to figure out. For some reason, I've got duplicate accounts showing from my. That's bizarre. Really weird. From TraderFi. It's really odd. Never had that before. Very bizarre. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's really weird. So still building liquidity here. ES still failed to make a new high above the initial balance, but we are still in bullish order flow for now. Yeah, exactly, TR. Market God saying stay out. Order still at 500. There was an order above 500. He's now pulled. Yeah, sell order. If it's above, then it's a sell order. So 500, there was at 512, but he's now gone. 500 would make sense from a psychological perspective. So I have to think now, are we in trend day above IB? Or do we have a failed rotation above IB? Remember, multi-time frame is bullish. We are bullish, multiple time frame. Yeah, possibly, but maybe one more peek out first. I'm watching ES, because ES has not got a closure over the IB high. So it is swept and traded back inside. So again, the same thing we talk about over and over again this week. We are in divergence. To move higher, we'll need to trap shorts, which is, I'm not convinced it's done enough today. On ES, it definitely has. On Qs, it hasn't. So we're just in a slow grind higher right now, without coming to a level where I felt comfortable buying. I haven't been able to do anything today yet. I'm watching rotation and failed rotation, or auction and failed auction currently. Those are what I'm looking at. Again, one eye on ES. That is where my eye is drawn towards at the moment. So ES again, failing IB high. It's getting very tight up there. So back towards IBH. Watching for failed auction here. ES coming back towards its VWAP. Would need NQ to join along with it, really. So a soak of IB high here. Yes, not quite to VWAP, but it did reprice its 5-minute imbalance. So structure-wise, still bullish for now. Still no trade, but I can't, for the life of me, work out why I've got duplicate accounts showing on trade copier. It's I've done a close down and a reopen, and it's also making me not want to trade if I do that, because I'm concerned that I close a trade out and it's running it as duplicates. To be really weird. So maybe need to do a cache clear, which I don't have time to do right now. It'll take a minute. So is this going to be a failed auction underneath, or is this a breakout retest hold for continuation higher, 500 and above? $440, $460. No, no, not really. There's bids down to $460, $462s. Market feels like it wants to move lower here. If it lets go of the IB, we might get a failed rotation or failed auction, let's say. Close Ninja down one more time. See if this will work. Because if a trade is setting up, I would like to be able to take it. Come on, Ninja. Yeah, I got the same error message from Ninja again, saying you're not allowed the same number of accounts. It's fucking bizarre. But they're not showing now. Well, that's a good sign. There we go. Yeah, there we go. I think it's sorted. Happy days. Okay, can focus again now. It's freaking me out a little bit there, thinking what is going on? But my accounts are working now. So probably something to do with Traderify when they've moved onto their own server. Maybe a little bit of lag, some of those accounts updating. So I still had an error message logging in. I don't know if any of you are trading Traderify. Maybe you've had the same thing this week, but it seems to be sorted now. Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily Ninja Trader exists. I just know Traderify merged servers yesterday morning. So they got their own server on Ninja through Tradeovate. So I wonder if it was just like a little bit of a, I don't know what you call it, like a error in the coding, so to speak. But it all seems fine now. So again, just waiting here. So ES is just trading inside its initial balance, right? From IB low to VWAP to IB high back to VWAP. NQ is basing for now above IB high. If it starts to fail inside, then we might trade downwards. I am concerned that 500 is just here looming. There's only 50 on the book up there, but it is there. Yeah, I saw that, TR. Yeah, I saw that they had issues a couple days in a row. Fortunately, I wasn't really trading much last week, so I didn't have any issues when I was on vacation. So I was in and out, very quick trades, and that was it last week. But yeah, often happens. Ninja Trader are going through a lot of changes right now as well. I actually have a call with them next week, so I think they are opening potentially their own prop firm. So back to this same level again, this IB level. ES back to VWAP. So if the IB high starts to let go and ES VWAP starts to let go, we might get a rotation trade here. Yeah, Bo. I don't know that for sure, but there's definitely something in the works. I have a call with them next week, so I'll let you know. But they're definitely up to something. There's a reason. If you're a new prop firm, you can't get Ninja Trader data. That's why everyone's doing it slightly differently. So I don't know if that's what it is, but they're definitely doing something. Coop, I'll let them know that. Yeah, it's annoying. It's very annoying. Be good if it was like TradingView where you just pressed it and it put all the drawings back, wouldn't it? Very tight here. 500 still on the book. All these wicks down here on a 1 minute. It's to a 1 minute. All these wicks down here. Do they run that to send it higher, or does this open the gate? So do we get this, or do we get that? Remember, this is where we found buyers this morning for the breakout. It's what you're currently looking at. Anything above an M1 right now is bullish, right? Everything above an M1 right now is bullish. Even M1 really for me is bullish. And this imbalance here is what we're holding. This is where we broke out from. This is the low that created this high. Big bounce here on ES. That is a big bounce off VWAP. So potentially that flag and the IB high holding here. So trend day for now in place. Yeah, all the time we're holding IB high, we're thinking about trend day higher. IB high, thinking about trend day higher. You'd need to see ES get through its IB high, and really you'd like to see ES go and start breaking out. So IBH test coming up on ES here. So far, just range rotation day for ES, potential trend day for the NQ. Surprised that move this morning was enough to trap shorts in on NQ, I'll be honest. Yeah, exactly. It's a decent push there. But the problem is, again, is ES, all right? That is the major problem right now. I doubt there would be many traders who've traded much today. Those who have made a little bit of money on the upside, but again, the range still not that big, probably 100 points tops. Yeah, maybe they just do a squeeze bo. They might just set a squeeze in all day today and see where we consolidate at the end of the day. Yeah, TR, just be careful structure-wise. Just remember we're at all-time highs, so you have to think about what you're risking off if you're going to take a short. I do think there's a short play coming up, if not the end of this week, next week, probably. I'd like to see us extend a little bit more, run the Bollinger Bands up, and then offer a mean reversion trade back towards the 5-day. Maybe when the 5 days caught up and it's sat around 21,300, something like that. And I think that offers a mean reversion short back to value. A new 5-minute bar here, new hourly candle. Do we extend this range? So far, every hourly candle structure has been a flag, right? Pull back in the last hour and then the expansion up. So what do we do now? Do we just extend straight through, or are we going to pull back towards sort of 450s? Yeah, we'd love to get to 50 likes, guys, if you can help me. I know it's been a slower stream yet. I know I haven't really traded today. Hindsight's a beautiful thing. We did say maybe we get lower high, lower high, lower high. Maybe I should have taken this, but I just don't love what I'm seeing across the indexes right now. What I don't want to do is get caught buying high of day on an all-time high at the top of the Bollinger Band and get dunked on. Okay, sellers coming into the market here, then they're starting to stack the book up towards 500. So do they look to get filled on this squeeze up? And then I want to see if they're going to refresh and stack up higher, or if this will be the move. You sort of have to think 6,100 doesn't seem that far away for ES. Which would mean I'd say we could get to 21,600 on the NQ if we're really going to do that. So all those sellers just got filled there. There's a 96 order, 100 lot order at 500. They're now starting to stack it. Biggest order we've seen so far today, 116 now. So everyone looking to sell into that move, probably intraday bulls looking to sell into that move, and some swing shorts. Doesn't mean it's a short, it means they're just looking to take some profits. They are starting to split their orders above now. 122 on the book there, 25 on the book at 512, and then some more added at 525. Yeah, ES now expanding above the initial balance. That's right, Ryan. So in a bullish day so far. Still expanding. ES still above IBH. Still have some orders on the book at 500. Yeah, Max, today's much tougher. Like we said, when we do the move overnight, remember the low-hanging fruit trade that we talked about all week was for a drive up to clear out all-time highs. Now we've done that move, the low-hanging fruit goes. So if we're looking for bullish bias, I'm looking for dips into levels that I'm interested in. What I wanted today was down into around these levels. We didn't get it, all right? We dipped down a little bit, but we didn't come to the imbalances that I'm interested in or the gap fill or anything like that. And we've just driven higher, which is fine. Not every day we're going to get every single thing that we want. So if it continues to drift higher today, we might be in a trend day. And then it's just a question of, can you snag a little bit with high probability move higher? Flow zones all holding. Here's your liquidity. Can we think about expansion to 500 or so? Yes, we can. $40-minute to PW. What's PW? I've got him at 145. Market Watch has him at 145. Is that incorrect? I've got him at 145 New York time. Could be wrong, but that's what I have. Yeah, 145. Yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah, not 11:45, 1:45. Plenty of time till then. Here's coming back to test its IB high. Right, here's coming back to test its IB high. Liquidity being built here for an extension higher, like we talked about. Still watching auction and failed auction theories. That's what I'm looking at the moment. Watching ES at its IB high. If we get a failed auction here, I'm watching it very, very closely. Still the invert right shoulder here is liquidity being built for upside still. Still in bullish. So possible 5-minute bar on ES for expansion higher. Okay, big seller could just come on, or a bigger seller come on the book now. 525. So 21,525 and 84 lot up there. He's just come on the book. So he's looking to drag the market higher for now. So do they hold this small imbalance down here for this right shoulder to go up, or do we flip it and start to see weakness come into the market? Love to get a trade today. It would be lovely to get a trade today. Definitely a lot of stops here at 62s into this IB high. Look at all these buyers down here. We start to get weak under there. I'm interested in the reaction. Again, the divergence is just making it very, very difficult. ES looks like it wants to do a 5-minute breakout flag holding the IBH for an expansion higher here. All right, so ES is about to print a new high of day. There you go, new high of day on ES. So let's run those stops. So is NQ going to hold this imbalance and print higher? Again, 500, 525, the next levels, just based on liquidity on the book. All right, remember, there's no supply overhead. This is a 1 minute, yeah, and then I'm looking at 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, hourly, daily. This right here is a 1 minute chart. Can move it to a 2 minute if you like. Nothing to do. It's tough. Tough to sit still. Yeah, very low range. About 100 points today. That's all we've got. Just consolidation. Consolidation grind higher at all-time highs. So do shorts get trapped or do buyers get trapped? That's really the question. Building a range here now as well. Yeah, building a range here. So does one side get trapped? Does the other side get trapped? Do we fail? Do we fail? Don't want to trade in the middle of this. 5 more likes, guys. Do me a favor if you're new to the stream. I know today's a bit slower, but please drop me a subscribe. Hit that like button. It really, really helps the stream out. Unfortunately, didn't get the trades we wanted this morning. Not frustrated though. I'm not looking back thinking, could I have taken that long? Not really. I don't really love this. I know it's into the W, but I remember ES at the time was looking very, very weak. So it's become very, very tricky to trade. So maybe we come and attack these stops now down here, and then we have to see what the reaction is if we do that. ES again, still in divergence. This is the imbalance down here where buyers came in. So their stops are here, and this is what they will want to hold ideally. "45 minutes, and then I'm going to call it. That's the max I'm going to stay here." Maybe we can go for these stops down here at 62 and then see how we react. Maybe that's just wishful thinking and the market's just going to hold this and just chop in this range for the next few hours. Definitely stops down there at 62. I'd like to see it just go and pick those up before making a decision. ES about to print another high. This divergence is killing me today, making it really hard to trade. Stops at 62 because of all the wicks. Look at all these wicks. Those are all buyers, so all their buyers stops are down there. So I'd like to see them taken out. Last few days have been very, very tricky with taking stops out. A lot of the time it's missed them on NQ. So does this bear flag back down to IB pick up these stops, or does it hold this imbalance and break out here and do this same move? I would like to see it come down here before I make a decision about anything else. I want to see one side taken out the market first before I make a decision. ES trading back at new highs. Fresh highs on the ES again. Am I saying that the wicks were the buys at 62 and then need to hit 52? No, like, basically, the IB high was here, right? We broke out, we pulled back. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of buyers down here. Market had shorts here, took them out of the market. The next thing the market should want to do is take these guys out of the market, and then we can make a decision about what the market might do next, right? So all it needs to do is come and take this and then maybe move up, or stay heavy against it, trade back inside the range. Again, what's making this very, very hard today is this huge divergence in the market. We know buyers are present down here, but I always like to see a side get taken out the market first, because we've swept up here. I'd like to see this get taken down here, but what's making it hard? Divergence. And even if you look at the 15 minutes and the 5 minutes bars, all right, 5 minute, 62 rebalanced to 5 minute when we were down there twice. So there is an imbalance down there which has been repriced. Outside of that, there's nothing. I'll show you what I mean. Here's your imbalance, which we repriced, breakout, pullback, held. Outside of that, there's not really much. Well, there's actually nothing left that it needs to reprice. Price has been grindy and efficient. So either we do something like this, or we do something like this. But we need the market to move a little bit, you know, rather than this tiny little range. Very hard to play small range like this. And where people often get wrong is they oversize because the range has tightened, and suddenly you get an expansion of like, you know, 50, 60 point candle out of nowhere because people's stops get done, and you're over positioned for that move then. That's the danger. Fresh high again on the ES, all right? Or new all-time highs again on the ES. New all-time highs again on the SPY. NQ, QQQ not doing that. I tell you what, VIX is drifting higher while the ES and SPY is drifting higher. VIX breaks out of 1322. It's got a gap fill potential to 1330. That is major divergence in the market if the VIX and the ES is drifting higher. Lots of orders suddenly coming on the book. All right, 81 lot now, 525, 500, 21, 500, 75 lot. And all these orders down at 60 now. They look like they're going to get run. All right, so there are guys on the book down there now. Here's the pullback to this level that we were just talking about. If we start to fail hard underneath this, we can think about the rotation IB to VWAP, right? If we start to fail hard underneath it, otherwise be very, very cautious. We are in bullish high time frame momentum. If it's just going to pick up more buyers down there and move higher, then that trade will be off. If it doesn't wick it, it's going to be just like every other day this week, where it comes within like a tick and doesn't take it. It's left some liquidity up here now as well, where shorts got involved for this breakdown. So 77 would be upside if it pops and pumps. Like to see it break 62, like I keep talking about. 62, I'd like to see it break down under that, and then we can see what's happening. Yeah, exactly, Glenn. We need that. We need a good close, though, for the next 5 minutes. Did we wick that then? Double bottom there. We maybe by a tick. Check the data feed on here. Think we can still move lower underneath that first. So you see my thesis then, why I was calling for this. Sweep one side, sweep the other side, then we make a decision. But I mean, these are small moves. Even off that high of day, we're talking about like 30 points. Not even. Yeah, equal lows. Normally I'd say we take them, right? But if you look at the last few days, the amount of times we've left liquidity, especially in the afternoon sessions when I've gone back and had a look at end of day, has been interesting. It's basically a range up here. This candle failed to move higher, move down, lower high, lower high, lower high. This is key level down here. Still a little early to say that, I'd say, Max. It's still above its IB high. It's still above the breakout. If you look at all the highs it put in this morning from like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 10:45, 11 o'clock, it's still basing over those for now. So basically, basic support and resistance, old resistance becomes support until it fails underneath those levels. Okay, until it comes under, goes back, back tests it, stays heavy, then you can think about a change in state. For now, 50-50. It's not done it yet. It looks like it's starting to do it, but there's absolutely no confirmation. There's nothing to say that it can't sweep, hold IB, and drive higher. Same for NQ. That will change based on how we react after we take the stops, after we break down underneath key levels, right? Just think about this area here basically as a key level. All right, if we break down under and stay heavy on this retest, change in state. If we come back in and trade back upside, you can think about trend line liquidity. Where does it want to go? Here, here. Have to be a little bit adaptable in this market. Wouldn't say it's giving the cleanest of moves right now. They definitely want it up at 525. Seller really wants it to sort of come all the way up there for him to get filled. Let me just look at something out of interest. Rebalancing the H1 as well. Coming back to back test, value area high. This H1 candle, maybe this wick into 58.60s. If we start failing that, we can think about POC. Okay, we've now taken that liquidity. Nothing big yet, but I'm just watching it. ES right dangling at that key level. Yeah. A new 15-minute bar now. And we have finally left some form of imbalance up towards 75, 76. And if we flip that though, if we sweep here and we flip that and we drive upside, remember this trend line liquidity here. Right, if we start to do this, and then you've got 76, this is 15, top of the 15-minute. If we get through this, you can go and do that move. ES looking a little bit heavier here now on a 5-minute bar. Lots of time left. How we act now vital, in my opinion. What's tricky is I'm thinking about if it can do this and fail, it'd be nice, but then we're just mid-range. Not ideal. Back to our breakout level then on the M5, on the M15. ES the same. Went and tagged into the top of its breakout level on the 1045 bar. Soaking instantly off that for now. I would imagine a lot of amateur buyers just stepped in here hoping it would pop up, not understanding that it would definitely run that first, and then you would need to wait for this or wait for this. Definitely amateur buyers would have been seeing this, coming in here, not understanding it wants to take them out first. Yep, exactly, CC. Market is definitely bullish until it's not. Yeah. All you have to do, look at the daily. That's what we were talking about yesterday. Oh, sorry, smashing the microphone here. Definite battleground here. It is a definite battleground here. And we've swept this. We have to think about, do we come and return into some of these areas? Look at ES. That's a huge move after sweeping. Trendline liquidity it can aim for, can rebalance. Look at that H1. We just tagged wick to wick like we talked about. That's what I'm looking at. Repriced into here. Yeah, on the H1 it did. I mean, it wasn't technically imbalanced because we didn't close, but basically it did, yeah. It came back down, tagged wick to wick, found some support from now. Still have divergence across the board. Our buy significantly trapped up here, I'm not sure. Starting to feel that way. Starting to feel that way. I want to see how we act right here, right now. Starting to get stuck underneath the IB. Again, divergence against ES. Do I think it's smart to enter on short on this bear flag small uptrend? I'm guessing you were talking about there. Yeah, I was eyeing that up. This I don't like here. I'd like this, but then we're mid-range. The whole thing is very messy today. We are basically on the level that we broke out from. Here. This. Yep, so extension, back test. I need to see how we react around here. It's very, very tight. Yeah, I see that. Only just though. Meta significantly, but Apple only just. And the VIX failed to break out of that 1320 I was looking at. Right here, yeah, soaked off it. I'm just not convinced in anything right now. I'd love to say I'm confident in a trade, but I'm not. Gut says this is going to suddenly just trade lower, when I'd be looking for it to retrace up before doing that. But my gut's just saying it's going to retrace lower. ES now testing IB high. There's an imbalance underneath it if it wants to come and fill it and dig deeper into 83s. Like I said, felt like the market would just drop down without retracing. I am very, very skeptical about this market in general and how it's moving. Be very cautious here on a squeeze back. Very, very cautious here. It's in a sell versus IB high. ES looks like it's going to reprice lower into that 5-minute imbalance we talked about. Possible if enough buyers got trapped up there on a failed auction above, we fail and come back down towards VWAP. We know most buyers participate down here today. Don't forget, doubt we do it today, but there is gap fill potential all the way back down to here. I'd imagine they keep that gap open unless Powell is very, very hawkish in the market. Who knows? I want to buy this supply block so bad. Just 475. What, the 5-minute where we're retesting? Basically the breaker, 50s. Yeah. I just don't think, it's weird. I feel like it's got a big move coming because the way we're dripping down, it might just spike straight back up. It might just dump it really, really quick. I really don't like how it's acting in this session. We didn't drive down to pick up any smart buyers this morning. I don't think we trapped that many shorts for that move up from sort of 10:30. And now I feel like there are some buyers trapped up there, but not a huge significant amount. But we are rejecting underneath for now. So everyone who bought this breakout and added here and didn't sell, we're now rejecting them. So it's just got me concerned that we come right down if they start stopping out aggressively. Oh, sorry, I had you on the wrong channel there, didn't I? Sorry, guys. Yeah, New York Open. Let's put that in. I haven't put it in today. What's that print? So ES trying to reclaim IB high. Well, it has reclaimed IB high after repricing that 5 minute. NQ has repriced its hourly, all right? So it's come back down to back test where we broke out of on the hour. Remember I said be very cautious here if they start to trigger this squeeze up. Not much volume on this push yet. Finding it very hard to trust anything right now. This volume was not huge on that push up. Yes, going back upside. Maybe it wants to take out that top it left at 88. Still not in anything. We start to reclaim here. Think about this. Think about this. Into the block 71, 70-ish. That's going already. Yeah. All right, retesting 5 minute block. ES on an absolute tear. Said I don't like all these stops up here. Yeah, breaker holding. Rejection of 5 minute block there as well as we tap back into it. We're just trading in between levels constantly here, and it's tricky. It's tricky without offering enough room to really like want to take something. As you know, I don't like scalping tiny points when avoidable. Yesterday I sort of did that because I was aggressive with my stop more than I usually would. If I was looser with my stop yesterday, I would have had a much better day, but we go. Yeah, trap. Yes, I see what you're saying, Bobo. You're saying shorts came in for breakdown under here and got trapped. Yeah, it's possible that we do this now if that's the case. Again, ES, ES doing a dance. But 500, 525 still on the book. Sellers are still on the book up there. Buyers on the tape at 450. Not much below. Not that much below. 9 minutes to lunch or 8 minutes to lunch, I will probably call it a day there. Probably a no day. Oh, sorry. A no trade day for me, probably. I don't want to hang around for Powell. Maybe we get an amazing move after Powell, but I'd rather just wait and see what we get backside of the week. Five-minute block holding there. Why am I trading view every time I open a position? I lose the option of setting TP and stop loss. You shouldn't lose that. You might have to just put it in up here. Where would I do that? Just go paper a second. You might have to put it in as a bracket like this. I don't know if there's a way of saving that. But you'll have to click this as a bracket rather than drag, I think is what you mean. Doesn't work quite the same as on demo. Yeah, red line, same as me. Nothing to do yet. Starting to build here for a potential move back up, but there is a 5-minute block up here that we're stuck between. So we're trading between the hourly block to the downside. This is hourly, which we held, and a 5-minute around here. ES making a new high here. It's about to go and sweep loads of people out again. So we're going to have SMT again here. Yeah, there's news 9:45, 10 o'clock, and then you've got Powell at 1:45 today. Yeah, just use a bracket order max and then drag from there. Just make sure you're using bracket orders. Catch you later, Exister. No, I didn't start with ICT, but I use those terms for people so it helps them. Because most people come here after trading ICT. All he's done is use different language for same things. Supply blocks, demand box. He can say it's not, but it's exactly what it is. Yeah, exactly, Glenn. Potentially here. But again, there's a block up here that we're getting stuck on. But there are these stops here, which it might want to draw towards. This is what I was saying, why I felt nervous about taking a short here before it takes it. It's just being a little bit tricky today in how it's acting. Exactly. No big engulfer come in. One here, no big volume, instantly repriced, but holding. IPDA. What's IPDA? So Greg M says, I've got a question for you. How do you deal with a trade that you take that gets stopped out and you respect the stop, but then it goes in your direction? So you're saying when I lose the trade, but then it ends up going where I want. That's just the market. That's what happens. That's just what happens. It's just part and parcel of it. Just move on. Next trade mentality, you know? It happens all the time. If you've been with me on stream, you would have seen it's happened to me many, many times. There was one week where I think I got stopped out pretty much 3 or 4 times on stream before lunch, and then it ends up going the moment I get off stream. It's just part and parcel of it. What's Foster Scott saying? It's ICT's algo. Really? Is that what he's calling it? Garbage. Okay, so here's the squeeze then. So flag here, and this is the target. These stops here. Nice, Max. I mean, some of his teachings are great, but let's face it, he's not a trader. He didn't create the algorithm. There's loads of algorithms in the market. It's not just based on one. Tons of high time frequency algorithms in this market, plus market makers liquidity, which is just priced either side. You can literally see it. If you get bookmap up, you will see it all the time. It just moves up and down with the market. That's the main algo, because that's providing liquidity for the market. Yes, failed to make a new high there. I don't think his concepts are bullshit. No, I don't. I think he has some really good concepts, but I don't think they're his concepts. Let's put it that way. I think some of his teachings are good. Exactly, Bo. That's why I asked, how do I deal with it specifically when you're on a losing streak? It depends how I'm feeling, and I journal, and it depends if I can feel tilt coming over numerous trading sessions, numerous trading days. I often take a day off and reset that mind, because I know if I'm right, if I stop out a lot of times and I'm right 3, 4, 5 days in a row, if I have 3 to 5 days in a row of small red, there's a much more increased chance that I'm going to go on tilt, way higher that I'm going to go on tilt. So it's important to just step away from the market. But yeah, important to know your triggers. I've done a video on that on YouTube. You can check out. For me, if I'm tapping my leg, if I'm starting to shout, if I'm starting to get annoyed, it's not a good sign. I can feel frustration. I can feel a bit of frustration in me today, but I'm not acting on it. I'm in control. If I start acting on it, that's a problem. A buy signal here as we start to break out. Remember, we said very easy for this to squeeze back up. Trendline liquidity, stops. Most stops are here. Another set of stops are here. So those are the targets for this if it's going to do it. Again, massive divergence in the market. They're not moving in sync together. And VIX is trying to break out. Right, VIX wants to break out of 1320. If VIX breaks out of 1320, we might have more divergence in the market if NQ moves up and the ES starts to roll over. Correct, Foster Scott. Correct. Yeah, you can trade VIX, and it's just volatility. So they use it as a hedge against what they're doing on SPX, SPY. So it should be doing inverse all the time. So if we're moving up and VIX is moving up, it's not good. Something's going to give when we do that. So that's normally a clue of divergence that one of them is going to roll over. The moment VIX is trying to break out, it wants to break out of 1320 for a gap fill to take it up to 1330. Through that, it's got stops at 1345. Through that, can trade up to 1380. Any of those moves should see downside pressure on the ES. Into lunch now. I'll hang around 5 more minutes while we're into lunch. Coming up to retest the top of the hourly closes, right? So we've got hourly opens and hourly closes just above us at value area high. This keeps changing, it's really annoying. At value area high into sort of 80, 85. That's going to be a key level, I'd say. Looking at a short here, maybe for a return, just to scalp back in. All right, I'm taking this just for a scalp. See if we can make a little bit of money on the day. There we go. Moving my stop in, protecting this in case. Lovely lag on the system, fantastic. What is going on with Ninja today? Something's up. I don't think I'm going to trade the rest of the day. I've locked that in for a couple $100 on each. Well, there's slippage there, so I don't understand what's gone on there at all. I might have to message Brett. I think they've got done some issues. Nice, Tyson. Good work. So all I did there was take a small scalp back down into this area here, and I'm out already. But that is just proof. There is something going on with Trader8, Traderify, and Ninja right now. There is definitely an issue on that system. So I'm green across the accounts, but I can't understand this. So green across the accounts on Traderify, but there's something going on there. We've got loads of error messages on the ATM straight away as well. Is anyone else trading on Traderify right now with Trader8 on Ninja? I'm going to message Brett. Let me check the system first. Yeah, it seems like a few people are saying they've got some issues here. Latest Tyson, nice work getting back to green, mate. Good work. Way to stick with it. All right, stick bullish now, guys. That scout work, but now I think we're going to trade upside here. ES looks like it wants to build for a squeeze. 490, 500, 525s are the areas for the rest of the day. Only thing I would be looking at, let me just check the hourly. I would watch rotation if we get stuck into value area high here and top of this hourly. It's why I was looking for a short scout just down inside. If we start getting heavy today, the rotation will be all the way back to these levels. But we are in bullish momentum. Momentum's upside. Everything holding for now. Yes, though, looks sus to me. I'm going to call it a day because I got one tiny trade in and that's it. And there's something going on here. Until I hear back from Brett or anyone at Tradeovate and Tradeify, I don't feel confident about taking anything. So maybe I'll move over to Top Step if I'm going to trade this afternoon. And that'll be it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Should have a better session tomorrow. Powell out the way, news coming tomorrow, NFP Friday. We've got a nice range expansion into the top of the Bollinger Band, which is exactly what we wanted, which offers two great things. It offers a really good mean reversion. All right, we're stuck at the Bollinger Band. It offers a really good mean reversion, probably back down to fill this gap with the 5-day trading up. Doesn't have to happen tomorrow, but it's something I'm going to be looking at. Or if the 5-day trades through it and we do a day of consolidation and expansion Friday, we have more upside potential. So those are what I'm going to be looking for tomorrow. Very, very simple. Right, either mean reversion or an inside day followed by an expansion day Friday. That is it. There's nothing else for me to look at right now. And I'll be back before market open tomorrow. Sorry it was a slow one today. It is what it is. I think we've had a 100-point range on the day, which is tiny, absolutely tiny. All right, team. Trade safe. You know the score by now. Don't forget Powell talking in just over an hour and a half. All right, so just be very, very careful into that. Just in case it gets thin, in case he says something very dovish or very hawkish and you get stuck in your position, be careful. And we will talk again tomorrow morning. Use hard stops. Still got 2 wars on the way. All right, lots of news coming on headlines all the time. Don't be complacent. Make sure you've got a hard stop in. Even if it's an absolute fail safe, make sure you've got it in. Until then, peace and love. See you later.